Welcome back. We are talking capital market. We have given you a short history of capital market, but also the size and impact of capital market. But Mr. Daniel Steinman, let's get into credibility. What do you mean by credibility?
Elsie, that's possibly the most important aspect of the capital market. Because if you go by what I say, that a bond, a government bond or a corporate bond, it's a legal instrument, it's a financing instrument, legally described, defined and protected. It's something that is enforceable. You can go to the court and you can say the government didn't pay me my bond back, I want my money, and it will be enforced. You see, now that doesn't happen, not unless you are in Argentina or in Turkey or in Mexico or in Zimbabwe or now in Zambia. So there are many countries in the world with capital market problems. And it is all about the type of investor that invests in the capital market. He puts his money in a government bond. He gets a proof of, yes, I'm the owner of so many units of, let's say, GC35, this specific bond, which is the way that the government sells its debt. And now that type of investor is not expecting his money back until maturity.
Yeah.
Regardless of whether he will make secondary deals along the way, he wants his coupon, the twice a year payouts that I explained, and at maturity, if he keeps the bond until maturity, in 2035 he wants the value of that bond back, and the government has to refund him. But so you can see, because of the very long duration in the capital market, the investor is not typically concerned about when will I get my capital back. He's just happy that it stays there, it lies there, it is invested in a form of government debt, and that instrument pays him out twice a year, and with a promise that when it comes to its end, it'll give him back the rest of the money. So it implies that the investor is only interested in the interest, in the coupon.
Yeah.
That twice a year payment. That is the important thing. So it is like, we call it fixed income. You can actually put it in a portfolio and you can make calculations for the next 10 or 15 years that every year we will get from this investment in this bond so much paid out in coupon value. And you put it in your portfolio, and you take a print of that to the bank, and the bank says, wow, we love you, Mr. Steinman. How can we, do you want to borrow 2 million or 3 million or 5 million or whatever? It's a form, it can be a form of collateral.
Yeah, it can.
Because it is such a good investment. But if the investors are only interested in the coupon payments, which is basically the interest on their investment, it means that the thing must grow all the time.
Yeah.
It means the government must issue more and more and more bonds. The fixed income investor wants a growing capital market. Now, can you immediately see the red lights?
Yeah.
On this side of the bench, you've got this whole crowd always moaning, wah, 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 government debt, government debt, government debt. It's too much, can't afford, and blah, blah, blah. And on this side, you've got the investors. And the biggest investors are foreign investors. And they are crying exactly the opposite. More, 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 more.
Yeah.
We don't want less debt, we want more debt. Why? Because the Namibian government bonds are very credible. Because when it is sold at auction and the coupon is indicated at 7.8 or 7.9 or 8 or whatever, it's always in that region. For the past 33 years, the investors had the guarantee that the coupon payment will be made every 6 months on that very specific day that the government said 6 months in advance we will pay on that date. This is about credibility. The investor wants to have the guarantee that he will be paid the indicated value on the indicated due date. And that credibility is what draws more and more and more money into the capital market. And that satisfies the demand for Namibian government debt instruments. Government bonds are very sought after. If you don't, when you put in a tender, a bid, and you don't calculate the yield that you want very carefully, in guidance from the Bank of Namibia, you simply don't get an allocation.
Okay.
There are, if you look at remember I told you there are auctions every week.
Yeah.
So it's a very active market. It's not as if you wonder what's happening in it. You just go to the stats and you see, Wednesday, so many million sold at this yield. And you can calculate it to percentage. You take the yield and you calculate the percentage, which gives you an interest income, the coupon value, basically. And so the most important thing is that in the capital market you have that balance between the need of the government, I need to sell so much debt, and the need of the investors, we want so much of your debt. Because if that thing is out of balance, you gradually start losing your credibility. And so that's the important thing. It's very important that when you issue a bond, you have to be able to pay the coupon on the due date. And that is what we've been doing all the time.
Okay.
And that is why our capital market has grown so much.
Okay.
Credibility.
Yes. And there you have it, my people. We have been talking about capital market. If you have missed out on half of this conversation, you can of course go to economist.com.na and have yourself a cup of coffee and enjoy this talk, because it was really interesting. Can't wait for next week. Thank you so much, Mr. Daniel Steinman.
See you then.
We'll talk again next week. Thank you so much for keeping it locked to the Power Station Energy 100. From myself, Elsie Timiani. Goodbye.